Shakyamuni Swaha. Sashi Peke Chukshi Meto Tran Rirab Lingshe Nide Gembadi Sangye Shinto Mikte Ulwarki Drogun Namda Shingla Chepar Sho Yidama Guru Radna Mandrala Kam Niryata Yami Sangye Chedan Tsoge Chonam La Chancho Pardo Dani Kyapsu Ching Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonam Ki Drola Pinchra Sangye Drupar Sho Sangye Chedan Tsoge Chonam La Chancho Pardo Dani Kyapsu Ching Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonam Ki Drola Pinchra Sangye Drupar Sho Sangye Chodan Tsoge Chonam La Chancho Pardo Dani Kyaps Dagi Jinso Gibe Sonam Ki Drola Pinchra Sangye Drupar Sho. In the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge unto enlightenment. Through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. Nel Buddha, nel Dharma e nel Sangha prendo rifugio fino all'illuminazione. Con la pratica della generosità e delle altre perfezioni, possa io ottenere lo stato di Buddha per il beneficio di tutti gli esseri senzienti. Ayaya kedan ludan chinke drubon dan da mi kenam dam droba kunge danam che tsampa thamche ketu dagi che ten to. Buongiorno. Good morning. So, one of the particular and special characteristics of the practice of self-healing is that it can be practiced and done at different levels. Okay? So these days I have been explaining not the deepest but little bit more profound way of explaining, but there are many different levels in which we can practice. There are different ways in which it's possible to do the actual practice. Okay? It's always important to remind ourselves that it's a practice. A practice means something that is done repeatedly. Something that we do many times that gradually makes a change within us. It's not something that you do once and then it's done. It's something that you need to repeat. Okay? And as we repeat the practice, my own experience is that the longer you do, the more knowledge you acquire, the more experience you have, the deeper the practice becomes as we go along the path. Okay? So, in this moment that we have reached of the practice, and I would go today directly to the explanation of the practice because today is Saturday and tomorrow we are supposed to finish, so I cannot stay too long going around. I need to go directly to the point, okay? So we have reached the part of the practice which is called the completion stage, which is divided through the 4 empowerments, as we said yesterday. Okay, so we have the 4 empowerments, is the vase empowerment, secret empowerment, wisdom empowerment, and word empowerment. Personally, for a long time, I have listened about the 4 empowerments, I have read it, and I was asking myself constantly, but what does it mean? Because, and wherever I asked, wherever I looked, the answer that I always got it as, the 4 empowerment. What are the 4 empowerments? And I would always get the same answer. Is the vase empowerment, the secret empowerment, the wisdom empowerment, and the word empowerment. But what is it? And most of the explanations that I got, they were basically showing us the symbolism. What are we supposed to visualize instead of what it's supposed to be happening within us? No? Then one time in Tibet, NgalSo Rinpoche, the abbot of Tashilumpo, during one teaching, I made him a question about the 4 empowerments. And he said that the actual empowerment, because we have the symbolism, and for instance, on the vase empowerment, the symbolism is always through the water. And this is interesting because, like in other religious traditions, such as the Christian, the empowerment comes through water, the baptism. So similar to that, in Buddhist tradition, the first empowerment comes through water. And it is said that in ancient time, there was a sort of bathtub, something like this, where people would go inside and then they would pour water on the head. Something like this. So it is something that it's interesting to see. There are many, if we look from a certain perspective, we can see many connections in different spiritual traditions. Okay? But this is not what we are going to look now. So the first empowerment is called the vase empowerment because it goes through the object of water. Let's say, the condition through which the empowerment happens is through water. Okay? Then, what does the word empowerment means? That's another complicated thing. I don't know if complicated, but difficult really to grasp at the meaning. Okay? So, the first of this, one in Tibetan means power. So, it means like to give power. That's why we use the word empower. It's like something that I have and I pass to the other. So the first 6 empowerments, which is the vase, which is the bell empowerment of Amoghasiddhi, the crown empowerment of Ratnasambhava, the water empowerment of Akshobhya, the Dorje empowerment or the Vajra empowerment of Amitabha, and the name empowerment of Vairochana, and the Vajra Master empowerment. These are all part of the vase empowerment, which Many of you have received initiations such as Yamantaka and others, and in this moment of the empowerment, the master is holding a vase and then he's sprinkling the water, and then some little water is passed and everyone drinks a little bit of water and things like that. And this is basically in the centuries as passed, when giving the vase empowerment, there were different traditions that developed. Before, people would be put completely with a lot of water in the head. Then after some time it became the symbol just to sprinkle water, then just to drink water, or just to do like this with the vase. It has like different forms how it developed, you know. I remember one time Rinpoche explained this in one teaching. And he was giving one initiation. I don't remember exactly when or where, sincerely, or even which initiation it was. But I remember very clear he was explaining these different systems, and he was giving the names, which I don't remember, of which were the Mahasiddhas that had each different tradition. Oh, so this Mahasiddha was doing sprinkling the water. The other one was passing the vase. The other one was giving water to drink. So gradually we keep all these traditions. That's why we sprinkle the water, we pass the vase, and we give water to drink, no? As these are different traditions coming from our lineage. But still, we are still talking a lot about the symbology and about the condition. And Khen Rinpoche told me, this is the, how to say, the condition. The actual empowerment is the inner experience of great bliss and emptiness. This is what is called, this is the actual empowerment. So, let's first explain the mantra, the mudra, the visualization, and then we go to the actual empowerment, okay? We start in the secret chakra with Buddha Amoghasiddhi. Now, we repeat after Guru Action Vajra, which is the name of the Guru that as it guides us through the practice. Now, we say Lama Tönyon Dorje Kyen. If there is someone guiding us on the practice, we repeat after. If we are doing ourselves alone, we just say by ourselves, Lama Tönyon Dorje Kyen. Lama means Guru, Tönyo Dorje is Amoghasiddhi, Kyen is a form of request. Means, oh you who all-knowing one. Kyen literally means to know. But sometimes the word Kyen is used in the context of request. So it's like it's a very respectful way to make a request. So it means like, oh, you who knows everything, please help me. It's like a way of making a request. So that's why we use here the word Kyen. It's also like very common when you write a letter to a very important master in Tibetan. In the end of the letter you write 3 times Kyen. You write Kyen, Kyen, Kyen in the end of the letter. Anyhow, so in this moment we make this request to Buddha Amoghasiddhi as inseparable from our own Guru, and we say Lama Tönyon Dorje Kyen. We do the mudra of the Garuda. And then we imagine that we take away all the negativities connected to our secret chakra. And as we exhale, we put them away, we eliminate them, and then afterwards when we inhale, we make the mudra of receiving all the blessings, and go up to the secret chakra, and then we do the mudra of Buddha Amoghasiddhi. Okay? So this is the part of mudra. The part of recitation, we do first Lama Tönyon Dorje Kyen, O Guru Buddha Amoghasiddhi, O Knowing One. And then after that, we will, when we finish with the mudras, we will just recite the mantra Om A Amoghasiddhi Hum. Okay? So, what we visualize and what we think in this process, which is the most important part, there are different ways, different levels of visualization, okay? On one level, what we do is that we visualize in front of us there is Guru Buddha. In the 5 chakras of Guru Buddha are the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. If you remember well, in the very beginning of the practice, when we started by inviting the field of merit, before making the 7 limb prayers and so on, we visualized Guru Buddha in front of us. Okay? In the part where we say the verse Malu Semche Kungi Gungurchi, okay, in that moment, we visualize our own Guru, inseparable of all Buddhas. In the 5 chakras are the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Okay? So in this moment of the practice, we focus first on Guru Buddha in front of us, as being inseparable of all Buddhas. In particular, we focus on Buddha Amoghasiddhi. And we ask, O Guru Buddha Amoghasiddhi, you who are inseparable of all Buddhas, please bless me. And please grant me the bell empowerment. Okay? So, these 5 empowerments, they are different symbols. And the meaning is that through the contact with these symbols, it helps us to generate an inner experience of bliss. So basically, making it somehow simple, what we do is that as we do the mudra of the Garuda, we imagine that Buddha Amoghasiddhi grants us the bell empowerment, so we can imagine the sound of bells ringing, and then there is light and nectar coming from Buddha Amoghasiddhi towards us, filling our whole body, and then especially emanations of Buddha's Amoghasiddhis, and also symbols like the bell and syllable ris that absorb into us. Okay? And as we receive the bell empowerment, we can even focus only on a bell, only on receiving a bell also and listening to the sound of the bell. But as we receive the bell empowerment, the important thing is that by listening to the sound of the bell, by touching the bell, by receiving the emanations of Buddha Amoghasiddhi, we experience an inner sensation of bliss. So imagine this great bliss that fills our whole body. Okay? And as this bliss fills our whole body, this bliss is like pleasure. Imagine a pleasure that goes from the top of one's own head through the whole body until our feet, everywhere. And within this state of great bliss, we realize that nothing exists inherently, that everything is interdependent, and so it lacks inherent existence. And within that state, through that state of bliss, all our negativities are purified. So basically, when we start doing the mudra and purifying our negativities related to the secret chakra, especially our jealousy and envy and fear, we purify them through a metaphor, which is the symbol of the Garuda, the green Garuda, smoke, dirt. But actually, what creates the condition to purify our negativities is the great bliss that we develop by having received the bell empowerment. Okay? So we receive the bell empowerment through the great bliss that we generate. It eliminates completely all negativities related to the secret chakra. Okay. At this point of the practice, there is actually more than two ways, but let's say mainly 2 ways how to do the practice. There is one way for beginners and one way for advanced practitioners. Okay? We do normally the way of beginners. Okay? The way of beginners is that since the beginning of the practice, actually, after doing the purification of the elements and doing the absolute purification, we did the 3 transformations, and we already appeared with a pure body. Our 5 chakras are supposed to be perfectly balanced. Our qualities are there manifesting to their maximum potential. So why do we still have to purify something? Okay? What happened is that even though we may think about it, we have not actualized it. So, at this moment of the practice, there is something which, it's a particular term used in Tibetan, which says, you keep the appearance, but you let go the identity for a moment. Which means that we keep the appearance that we visualize ourselves as the Buddha, and in our 5 chakras there are the 5 Buddhas and so on. But in this moment, we somehow reconnect back to our ordinary appearance. So it's like if we say, okay, I am visualizing myself as Buddha and so on, but yes, I still have jealousy, I still have fear. And then we focus on whatever is remaining of that negative emotions, and we let it go completely away. Okay? It's more or less like before, up to that point, from when we started generating the sit syllable, and from the syllable the symbol, and the symbol the Buddha. If you remember well, we explained that the sit syllable is representing our own inner qualities. Okay? So we have the qualities such as the power of realization in Buddha Moggasiddhi, such as rejoicing, the qualities as the wrathful energy, the energy of opposition. There is the pure aggregate of compositional factors. There is the wisdom of realization. All the characteristics connected to our secret chakra. Okay? So we visualize that they develop. Whenever our qualities grow, automatically our defilements dissolve. It's like whenever we bring light where is darkness, as the light enters, naturally the darkness goes away. Okay? So on our path, the process of eliminating our defilements is not focusing the attention in the defilements, is actually focusing the attention in the antidotes, in our qualities. Okay, we will not eliminate anger by focusing our attention in anger. We will eliminate anger by focusing our attention in patience and in understanding and in awareness and in love and kindness. That's how we will eliminate anger. We will not eliminate anger by focusing our attention against anger. We will not eliminate jealousy by focusing our attention against jealousy. We need to focus our attention in rejoicing. Okay? So, this is something that generally speaking it's very important, because very often we have this idea that, oh, we understand our defilements and we want to go against the defilements. Okay? So here, what we are doing also is that as we have visualized that our qualities have been developed, as a natural consequence of our qualities fully developing, our defilements go away. Okay? So we visualize Buddha Amoghasiddhi at our own secret chakra, symbolizing our own qualities connected to Buddha Amoghasiddhi, fully developed. And naturally, if there is rejoicing, there can be no jealousy and envy. If there is power of realization and the wisdom of realization, there can be no doubt, there can be no uncertainty. Okay? So, as we have developed that qualities, through the power of developing that qualities, and through the energy of, and within this state of great bliss that realizes that lack of inherent existence, all our negativities connected to the secret chakra are completely purified. So, it's not the attitude, it's not that of somehow saying, oh, I take something that is there and I throw it away. It's more the attitude, according to my experience, is more that of, I develop the antidotes and naturally it goes away. Okay? So we focus that these defilements, they are completely fading away, they are completely going away as we develop our own qualities. It's like As rejoicing grows, jealousy and envy goes away. Okay? And it's not like you take away jealousy and envy and remains one whole and something empty space. Okay? It's like it's basically there is one space and it cannot be occupied by two opposite things. So when you fill it up with rejoicing, naturally the jealousy and the envy need to go away. It cannot coexist. So in this moment, we concentrate that we have developed our own qualities, and in this moment we focus on the qualities connected to each one of the Adhyani Buddhas, in this case Amoghasiddhi. We focus on that qualities into their maximum potential, fully developed. We identify ourselves with it. As we receive the bell from Amoghasiddhi and we listen to the sound of it, we develop a great bliss, a pleasure that fills the whole body. And through the development of that qualities, within that state of great bliss that realizes the lack of inherent existence of all phenomena, within that state, all the negativities connected to the secret chakra are completely purified. Okay? So we imagine that this go out from our body in the form of dark green Garudas. The dark green Garudas is a symbol. Okay, here we use the animals to represent something that doesn't have a form. We give form to something that doesn't have form. Jealousy, envy, fear doesn't have form. So the Garuda is representing jealousy, envy, and fear. There are different moments in which the animals have different representations, okay? There is one moment in which we use the qualities of the Garudas. For example, if you look at the main door of the Gompa, we have 4 animals, okay? There is the Garuda, the lion, the tiger, and the dragon, okay? These 4 animals, it's in their positive aspect. It's there, it is like invoking the qualities of these animals, what they represent. In this moment, we are taking a particular characteristic of the animal, generally speaking, and using it to represent our own defilements. So the Garuda is said to be the king of all birds. And the Garuda has these characteristics that it is the most powerful and the king of all birds. But because the Garuda is the one that is the most powerful one and is the king, the Garuda is always worried if someone else will take his place. Even though he is on the top, still, because he doesn't want to lose that position, he's looking at whatever quality others develop, and there is jealousy there. And then he's worried about what happens, and there is envy, and he has fear constantly of losing his place. So the Garuda represents in this way fear, jealousy, and envy. Okay? But nothing against Garuda, it's just using a symbol. Okay? If you're not comfortable visualizing Garudas, you can just visualize smoke and dirt. Okay? So we take all the negativities, we inhale as we grab. For me, when we inhale, it's like if we are taking everything, and then as we exhale through the mouth, we imagine that it completely goes away. Okay? What is important is that as the negativity goes away, it's not that we're not leaving any empty space inside us. It's like we focus on Buddha Amoghasiddhi, which is our qualities fully developed. And as Amoghasiddhi is in our secret chakra with the qualities fully developed, there is no space for jealousy, for envy, for fear, for uncertainty, and so on. So naturally, all of that goes away. There is no space for that anymore. Okay? And then we can concentrate on specific defilements. Okay? We can make it general once, or we can focus all the fears, the fear of death, the fear of loneliness, the fear of sickness. Every fear that we have, we can focus on it. and we put away. This part of the practice has one particular meaning also, especially for us as beginners, is that for whatever reason there is some sort of attachment towards our defilements. We identify ourselves very strongly with it. And in this moment, one of the strong messages that we are giving to ourselves is, this is not part of me. I can exist without it. Okay? Because very often we identify ourselves with our own fears, with our own jealousy. I am jealous. I am a fearful person. I am this. I am that. Why we identify ourselves with these negative emotions, with these so-called mental defilements. So when we put it away, it means I don't need to be that. I am not anger. I am not fear. I am not jealousy, and so on. Okay? So somehow we stop identifying ourselves with it. So we can focus on each one of them slowly, especially if we are doing the practice by ourselves. There is no any hurry. When we inhale, we take the negativity, we focus on the quality, and then we exhale, naturally it goes away. We focus on jealousy, we focus on envy, on uncertainty, doubt, fear, okay? One important thing is that when we focus on all these defilements, we need to be careful not to generalize them. Because we are not purifying jealousy, generally speaking. We are purifying the jealousy that we have, our own jealousy. We are purifying our own fears, our own uncertainty, and so on. Okay? So, the more we can identify these negative emotions within our own self, and we disconnect from it, and we stop identifying ourselves with it, and we feel that it goes away, the better. There is a big difference if I purify fear. What is there for lunch today? Fear goes away. Instead, if I remember which are my own fears. Oh, the fear of judgment. Oh, what are my fears? Oh, I have the fear of death, the fear of sickness, the fear of not being understood, the fear of remaining poor, the fear of whatever, loneliness. Whatever are the fears that we have, we try to connect with our own fears. And as we connect with our fears, we focus on Buddha Moggasiddhi in our secret chakra and Buddha Moggasiddhi in front of us. And through the strength of developing the qualities of Moggasiddhi, naturally all that fears and jealousy and envy, it goes away. Okay? And as a result of that, what happens is that all our subtle winds, they all become very balanced, and as a result of the emotional balance and the physical balance, all the sicknesses which are connected to the secret chakra are completely pacified, okay, and cured. So this, in the book of Rinpoche, Self-Healing number 2, there is like some long recitations that we can read in this moment. I was reading some of it this morning. It's very beautiful the way how Rinpoche put in Self-Healing number 2. And one of the very nice things that in many of Rinpoche's books, he would never say things directly to us. He would put them in the form of prayer. So instead of saying to us, look, you are just living for your own survival and you have truly no idea of what you are doing. So listen and allow yourself to be guided. Instead of saying like this, Rinpoche put in the prayer, Oh Guru Buddha, Amoggasiddhi, Oh Knowing One, please bless me. Me who really, what I'm really doing, actually I really don't know, So put in the form of prayer, And please bless me so I develop renunciation, bodhicitta, correct view of reality. All of this is inside self-healing. Okay? So, and then there are the description of the many sicknesses connected to each one of the chakras also in self-healing number 2. We're not going to go through it right now, but in the self-healing number 2, it's very clearly described. So what we imagine basically is that as our energy is revitalized, Buddha Moga Siddhi glows with green light at our secret chakra, joyfully smiling. All the energies flow well, and whatever sicknesses is connected to that emotions and to that chakra, it's completely pacified. Okay? So, we experience great bliss. Then through that experience of great bliss and the qualities that we develop of Buddha Moga Siddhi, all the negativities are completely purified, pacified. Okay? So again, we are not going there and grabbing something and taking it away. It's actually, as we do the mudra, we imagine that through our qualities developing naturally, all this is coming out. We are just putting out what is coming out naturally. Okay? And sometimes I have this feeling it's like also grabbing and taking out from the roots, because we are a little bit attached to our fears, we are attached to our jealousy, we are attached to our defilements. There is some sort of identification with it. So it's important in this moment of the practice to let go the identification with that defilements. It's not that simple. Not that easy, but it's possible. Okay? So we let go completely the identification with the defilements. We can do the breathing through the nose and mouth or only through the nose, okay? When it's something that we feel more strong, Rinpoche, as he taught initially, is we do it through the mouth. Okay? If we are making the meditation and we see that we are a little bit in a more, deeper concentration, and we focus more on the quality and less on the defilement, then we can breathe only through the nose also, okay? Then, once we imagine that our negativities are completely eliminated, then we focus our full attention in Buddha Amoga Siddhi at our secret chakra. And the most important thing is we identify ourselves with Amoga Siddhi. I am Buddha Amoga Siddhi. Okay? In this moment of the practice, there is one of the other ways of doing, which we are not going to go into details now on that, but in this moment we dissolve into the state of emptiness, then we appear as Buddha Amoga Siddhi. Okay? But now we just visualize in each one of the chakras one Buddha. So it's like if we make a zoom in towards Buddha Moga Siddhi and we focus fully in Buddha Moga Siddhi and we identify ourselves with Buddha Moga Siddhi and with everything that Buddha Moga Siddhi represents to us. So as we go with the hands upwards, we imagine that from Guru Buddha Moga Siddhi in front of us, light and nectar is coming. It fills our whole body with this green light and nectar. And then as the green light and nectar come, it revitalizes once again Guru Buddha Moga Siddhi. And as we do the mudra, we visualize ourselves as being Guru Buddha Amoga Siddhi. Okay? Again, we visualize ourselves as being Guru Buddha Moga Siddhi, or by focusing our attention to our own secret chakra, or we can do the whole process of dissolving ourselves and reappearing as Buddha Amoga Siddhi. I would say now we just focus on our secret chakra, okay? So we focus on the secret chakra, and the most important of all, more than the visualization, we just focus on the secret chakra, but the attitude that we have, the state of mind is that we identify ourselves with Buddha Amoga Siddhi. That's the most important part, okay? So we identify ourselves with certainty, with a pure aggregate of compositional factors, which is our character in a pure state. We identify ourselves with the wisdom of realization, with rejoicing, with having no any form of fear, with the capacity to oppose ourselves to any form of negativity, and so on. Okay? To sacred action. And then as we do the mudra of Buddha Amoga Siddhi, and we recite the mantra Om A Amoga Siddhi Hum, there are two different ways how we can visualize. One first way is that we just focus in Buddha Amoga Siddhi, in our secret chakra, and we focus on the identity. We focus on identifying ourselves within that qualities. And we remain within the state of that identity. Okay? This is actually quite powerful for us to disconnect our identity from our defilements and connect our identity with our qualities fully developed. This also has the meaning of bringing the result into the path. Okay? So, as we do this, then we recite the mantra Om A Amoga Siddhi Hum. Okay, I think it's quite clear up to here, right? What we can also do as we recite the mantra, there is another visualization that I like personally doing. I asked Rinpoche if it could be done together within self-healing. Rinpoche told me that, sure. It is that, especially when we do the practice with more time and calm, at this moment is when we do the accumulation of the mantras. Okay? So instead we can recite the mantra of Amoga Siddhi 1 time, 5 times, 25 times, or we can just first, what I would do normally would just go and recite with the mudra for 5 times, and then you can stop doing the mudra, and then just take the mala and start reciting the mantra. Oma Amoga Siddhi Hum 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 Oma Amoga Siddhi. And like this you can go on, you can do 1 full mala, you can do 10 malas, you can do a full retreat, you can do as many mantras that you like. And as we recite the mantra, then there are the different visualizations possible to be done through the mantra. For me, one of the visualizations that I think is the most suitable one is the visualization that is taught in particularly inside the Tantra of Tara Chittamani. Okay? And then what we do is that in this moment we have visualized our central channel, left and right channel, and Buddha Amoga Siddhi in our secret chakra. Okay? So, in the heart of Buddha Amoga Siddhi is the syllable Hum, and around is the mantra Oma Amoga Siddhi Hum. Okay? So from Buddha Amoga Siddhi and this mantra, many emanations come. Okay? They go from the central channel into the left, into the right channel, and then they go out from the right nostril. So imagine like this, how you say, this ocean of emanations, like so many Buddhas, Amoga Siddhis, and mantras of Amoga Siddhi Hum, and then light and everything coming, all these emanations coming, and then as we exhale, they go all out. And as they manifest, they go to all sentient beings, especially those afflicted mainly by fear and jealousy and envy. Okay? And by entering in contact with each one of them, they guide each one of them until each sentient being reaches the state of Buddha Amoga Siddhi. We can visualize sentient beings reaching the state of Buddha Amoga Siddhi in the form of Amoga Siddhi, in the form of Samayatara, male, female, and so on, even though the state of enlightenment is beyond male and female. But we just visualize that every sentient being reaches this inner state of peace, this inner state of no certainty, no fear, of rejoicing, no jealousy and envy, the state of Buddha Amoghasiddhi. And as the sentient beings around us reach that state, they recite with us the mantra. We imagine everyone reciting the mantra, Om Amoghasiddhi Hum, and then the emanations come back as we inhale from the left nostril through our left channel, enters the central channel and reabsorbs back into Buddha Amoghasiddhi at our secret chakra. Sure. You can do as many breaths as you want in between. It's like you can first focus on all the emanations going, and then you exhale, and then you just focus as you do the mantra on the emanations going to sentient beings. Like when I was doing a retreat of Tarachtamani, and I was doing this visualization, I would make for each chakra one mala for each realm. So for example, first Amoghasiddhi, then I would focus on the hell realm, and then one whole mala. And then I would focus on the hungry ghosts, then another mala. Then on the animal realm, another mala. Then I will focus on the human realm, and then the semi-gods, and then the gods. And each one whole mala, for example. Okay? Then the same thing with Ratnasambhava, then with Akshobhya, then with Amitabha, and then with Vairochan, and so on. Okay? So this is a way, like, at least for me, when I was doing retreat, it was a way of keeping me busy also. And in a way, focusing the visualization, because we have no hurry to finish right away all the mantras. And as we are reciting the mantras, when we try to visualize in a general way all sentient beings, it becomes too general. Instead, the best way is we start by focusing on the people that we know. So, imagine the people that you know, family, friends, working partners, anyone that you know, and then you focus on them, and you imagine that the emanations of a Buddha Amoghasiddhi go and eliminates their fear, eliminates their jealousy and envy. Eliminates means not that Amoghasiddhi takes away the fear of people. The emanations go, they interact with people. Through the interaction, people develop certainty, they develop stability, they develop joy, and so on. And by developing their qualities, they eliminate their negativities. Okay? So when we say that the emanations of Buddha eliminate the negativities, it's just a shortcut. Okay? But the actual meaning is that not that the Buddhas go and eliminate the negativity. The emanations go, and the only thing that they do is they interact with sentient beings. And through the right interaction, the sentient beings develop their qualities, and by developing their qualities, they eliminate their negativities. Okay? This process is important, at least to know it, because otherwise we have this attitude that the emanations go and they take away the suffering of others. And it's not sustainable, it's not possible. Okay, it would be wonderful if it would be like this. In this moment of the practice, what we are doing is actually we are simulating the enlightened actions of a Buddha. Okay? Because the actions of a Buddha are to help sentient beings. How? By manifesting oneself in accordance to the needs and capacities of sentient beings. Okay? It is said that Buddhas can manifest in so many different ways. There is one text which I already said before that I would like to share with everyone. I repeat once again so that I just remind myself. And it's an interview to Son Rinpoche when he's talking about Tulku. Okay? And he states very clear, he says, when one enlightened master manifests himself in a gross body, when a Buddha manifests, we say himself, but a Buddha is not male or female. Okay, a Buddha is in profound inner state that goes beyond male or female. Anyhow, But when a Buddha manifests, the Buddha will manifest in whatever way the Buddha finds more suitable of greater benefit. So it is said Buddhas can manifest as men, as women, as monks, as prostitutes, as inanimated objects. Buddhas can manifest as a chair, as a bridge, as animals, as all sorts of things. Okay? So it's like wherever the Buddha finds that is of greater benefit to help any sentient being, that the cause and the conditions are there, it will materialize himself in whatever way is of greater benefit. Okay? And in this text, Song Rinpoche was saying, when you go to look for the reincarnation of a great enlightened master, if he is a truly enlightened master, you really don't know in which way he can manifest himself. It could be in the most unconventional way. It doesn't need necessarily to be in the form of a, religious person. It could be in all sorts of manners. No? And in this text, Song Rinpoche, at one moment, he was telling that there was one master that he had very high esteem, very profound respect, which I think was Tebo Dorje Chang, his name. And one time this great master was together with his assistant. He was at home, just sitting, drinking tea or something like that. And then he started laughing by himself a lot. He was like, ha 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 ha, just laughing. And then the assistant that was there went to him and said, "Oh, Rinpoche, what happened? Why are you laughing so much?" He was saying, "No, nothing, nothing." Ha ha ha. And he was laughing. And then he was saying, "But come on, tell me, I said, "Okay. Is that there is one emanation of mine. There is a beggar in China. And after a long day, finally he could get some good, nice food. And then some dogs chased him away and he lost all the food." Ha 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 ha. And he was laughing out of it, And then he asked him, "But how many emanations do you have?" And he said, "Oh, there are some that I know, but I need to meditate to give you a precise answer." He said, "Tomorrow I tell you." So the next day he said, "Yes, I meditated this last night, and the ones that I can identify, there are around 200. These are things that go beyond our own capacity of understanding. Okay? But what is explained is that a being that have reached a state beyond one's own ignorance, which means a state of Buddhahood, that have transcended the duality of relative and absolute, a being which is a so-called Buddha, can actually have full control over matter and can manifest his own mind, his own body, in whatever way fits the best." Okay? And this is what we are simulating in the practice when all the emanations go. And they transform and manifest in whatever way suits the best for sentient beings. And as they manifest, and by gradually, for example, in order to help sentient beings, the first way to help is through material generosity. Because if someone is full of hunger, how can I take away your fear? How can I help you to eliminate your fear if you are hungry? How can I help you to stop having fear if you have no place where to live? Or if you live in a place that is extremely dangerous? So first we go through material generosity. And we manifest the emanations in whatever material way sentient beings need. Okay? And we take care of the gross needs. Then second, we interact with them by helping them through their emotional needs. So we give them love. So all the manifestations go through sentient beings as a manifestation of love, covering the basic emotional needs. Okay? Then once again the manifestations go and will adapt to protect sentient beings from whatever specific form of suffering there may be. So from danger, from from loneliness or from hunger or from whatever type of suffering that there may be, external manifestation of suffering, the manifestations go and protect from it. And then once sentient beings are physically well, emotionally well, they have food, shelter, protection, love, affection, everything, then the manifestations start to come as bringing them the Dharma. Because in order to be ready to practice the Dharma, we must have a minimum material, physical, emotional balance. There is a minimum that is necessary. Okay? Then comes the generosity of giving the Dharma. The reason why 4 generosities exist is not for any reason. Okay, we will talk more about this in Ratnasambhava time. But in the visualizations of all the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, we practice the 4 generosities. As the emanations go, first manifest in whatever way physically needed, emotional needs, protection from suffering, like from hunger or from whatever, and then bringing the Dharma. So for some people, as we manifest the Dharma, it can manifest in the form of a spiritual guide. From others, it can just manifest in the form of the teachings that arrive to these people, and so on. So the important thing is we imagine that sentient beings are guided to develop love towards themselves. They are able to develop a bodhicitta, love towards others. They are able to develop a correct view of reality. We guide sentient beings on the path to enlightenment. Okay? So if we do the visualization in many details, there we are, Om Amoga Siddhi Hum, Om Amoga Siddhi Hum, Om Amoga Siddhi Hum, Om Amoga Siddhi Hum, Om Amoga Siddhi Hum. And then we visualize the emanations in 4 steps. We can, independently of to whom, it can be one sentient being, someone that we know, one person, or we can first connect with all the people that we actually know, and then we can generalize, and we can see the whole city, the whole town, the whole country, Europe, the world, and universe, or whatever, okay? We can use your own creativity. But start by connecting to people and to animals and to beings that you are actually connected with, not just a generalized image. And then once we have focused on the sentient beings around us, then we have these 4 steps. First is material generosity. The emanations go as we breathe out and manifest any material needs sentient beings need. Okay? Bringing everyone to a state in which they are materially stable and satisfied. Second, the emanations go and they manifest into whatever way. So when the material needs are covered, that emanations come back and reabsorb into us. Then again, we send other emanations and they go and bring all the emotional support. Okay? Bringing affection, love, friendship, company, helping, making the right conditions so sentient beings can feel emotionally stable. Their basic emotional needs are covered. Then again, the emanations reabsorb, and again they manifest again, and as they remanifest once again, they go and manifest into protection. Protection means to avoid suffering, such as hunger, violence, loneliness, or any other form of external difficulties and so on. So the emanations will somehow bring stability to the life of the sentient beings, will make a condition that will bring well-being and stability to the life of the sentient being, protecting from any situation that will generate particular suffering. Then the emanations come back again. So we have sentient beings at that moment that are materially stable, emotionally stable, and their conditions around them are also stable. Then there are no particular fears, no particular dangers around them, and so on. So they are good vessels to learn the Dharma. Okay? Then the emanations go again and start bringing the Dharma to each one of them, which is not Buddhism, it's much beyond Buddhism. It's helping them to develop wisdom, helping them to develop love, helping them to develop stability and generosity and all the qualities of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. In particular, we focus in developing the qualities of Buddha Amoghasiddhi. Okay? And then all of them reach this state of peace, they reach the state of Buddha Amoghasiddhi, and they recite the mantra, Om Amoghasiddhi Hum, and the emanations come back and reabsorb into our secret chakra. And then we continue, we can make one more mala of the mantra as we visualize sentient beings around us, reciting the mantra together, and we rejoice for their state of peace and so on. Okay? So at that moment we rejoice. And we do that as we do again the mantra Om Amoghasiddhi Hum. Okay? So, in this moment of the practice, what we are doing actually is we are practicing love, compassion, equanimity, and joy. Rejoicing. Love because we wish every sentient being to be free from suffering. We wish them the best. Compassion because we want them to be free from suffering. We wish them to be happy. Love, we wish them to be free from suffering. Compassion. Equanimity, we do not make distinctions. The emanations go to everyone without distinction. So we practice equanimity. And as they reach the state of peace and we feel joy out of that, we are practicing rejoicing. Okay? So, as we do the practice, again, we are familiarizing ourselves with these very important qualities that we need to develop on our own path. Okay? As we finish the part of purification and we identify ourselves with the 5 dhyani, with Buddha Amoghasiddhi, before doing the mudra, we also commit ourselves to keep the samayas of Buddha Amoghasiddhi. Okay? The samayas of Buddha Amoghasiddhi are basically commitments that were taught in the Vajrayana Buddhism by Buddha Shakyamuni. They are the commitments of the 5 dhyani Buddhas, which are basically attitudes, commitments that we keep in order to be able to keep the qualities of the 5 dhyani Buddhas and in order to be able to fulfill the path. Okay? So in Buddha Amoghasiddhi, the commitments or the samayas is to make offerings, to make outer offerings, inner offerings, secret offerings, offerings of emptiness, and to keep the commitment of the other 4 dhyani Buddhas. Okay? In the meantime, if someone can get me one small booklet of self-healing, just because to check there the other commitments. This one I remember very well, just to make sure that I don't make any mistake. So, offerings, some days ago we explained the meaning of making offerings, no? And we explained outer offerings, inner offerings, and so on. So in the commitment of Buddha Amoghasiddhi, we commit ourselves to make offerings. Okay? And we make a commitment to keep the commitments. Well, the only difference is that if we are in the advanced mode of the practice, as we do the bell empowerment, we identify ourselves as being Buddha Moggasiddhi, and we do not focus on eliminating the defilements, because we have a very strong divine pride. Okay? But this, I think, is not for most of us. Okay? So in these moments, I think the best way, which is a good mixture of both, is we identify ourselves with all the qualities of Buddha Moggasiddhi, and through the power of developing the qualities, naturally all the negativities are purified and eliminated. Okay? And by receiving the empowerment of Buddha Moggasiddhi, we focus that we have stabilized our qualities, and once again there we have the power of realization, the pure aggregate of compositional factors. There is rejoicing, sacred action, and the power of opposition, okay, or the wrathful action. Okay, this is. The more we go deep into the understanding the meaning of each one of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, the stronger we can connect in this moment also. Okay? One important thing to understand well the 5 Dhyani Buddhas and to do even this moment of the practice well is understanding that the 5 aggregates are the basis of our identity. So I advise you, try to study a little bit more about the 5 aggregates. Reflect more about the 5 aggregates. You know, so that aggregate of compositional factor is not just a word. It represents a great part of yourself. This is also something that is important, okay? So, with this we complete the part of Buddha Amoghasiddhi, the bell empowerment of Buddha Amoghasiddhi. Okay? Next, we have the crown empowerment of Buddha Ratnasambhava. And as we do the crown empowerment of Buddha Ratnasambhava, it's always part of the vase empowerment. Okay? And one thing which I didn't say before is on the vase empowerment. What we can also visualize is that after doing Lama Tuyen Dorje Kyen, and while we imagine that we receive the empowerment, from the heart of Buddha Moggasiddhi in front of us, many empowering deities manifest. Okay? So, empowering deities, they come from Guru Buddha Moggasiddhi in the form of dakas and dakinis, these like celestial beings. Okay? And often they are also seen as in the aspect of the 5 great mothers. And they hold vases full of pure water like nectar. And as we receive the empowerment, they pour the vases, and we receive like a rain of this pure nectar that fills completely our body. And as it fills our body, we experience this great bliss. Okay? So this is also another part that we have in the same thing at each one of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Okay? So there are this, actually in the moment of empowerment, we invite all these empowering deities. In this moment also, it is visualized that we have Guru Buddha in front of us, and around us are all the gurus of the lineage, all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Dakas, Dakinis, protectors, all the holy beings are surrounding us as witnesses. Okay? And if you look here in the Gompa, if you see around us, on the higher part of the walls, there is this drawing which is like the sky with all the images of the gurus of the lineage and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the protectors and all the holy beings. Okay? Basically in front we have the 4 main gurus of the lineage, which are big images, and around you have all the small ones. You know? And this is not just because that's a nice way artistically where to put them and we like them. There is a meaning on that also, which is as we visualize, for example, when having the empowerment, we visualize that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the gurus of the lineage, all the holy beings surround us to bless us and to witness this moment. So this is a symbol to help us to visualize all of that as they are surrounding us. And here, as our Gompa is round, it's actually perfect for that. Okay? So in this moment, they are all there and they are all granting us together the empowerment. They are witnessing and they are giving us their blessings together. And as that, the empowering deities, as are called, which are normally seen as the 5 mothers and the 5 fathers, often in many texts are as the 5 mothers. They come with this empowering, with these big vases, like the Tibetan vases that we have during Ramne Chemo and in other ceremonies, but we can imagine any form of vase full of this beautiful, pure water, or also called nectar, and then they pour down. Okay, and as they pour down, we imagine this rain coming, this nectar coming. As it enters through our crown, it fills our central channel, it fills our whole body, and we experience this state of great bliss. Okay, together with that, we receive the bell. Okay? Actually, first we receive the bell, and then we receive the rain of nectar, to be precise. Okay? As you can see, there are many levels of visualization that we can do. It can be very, very simple, or it can get quite complex, okay? Okay, then we go to Buddha Ratna Sambhava. Buddha Ratna Sambhava, we go Lama Rinpoche Dorje Kyen. Rinpoche Dorje means Ratna Sambhava, the source of richness, of preciousness. Lama Rinpoche Dorje Kyen at the navel chakra. We go with the mudra of the Garuda. As we do the mudra of the Garuda, we visualize that we receive from Buddha Ratna Sambhava 1 crown. And as we receive the crown is made of, it can be visualized in different ways. Or it has 5 jewels, or it can also be symbolized with 5 lotuses, 5 flowers also. It's a sort of tiara, okay? You know? It's like this crown, how to say, in Nepal, if you see in some Newari temples and so on, they have this crown. And it's symbolized sometimes as a sort of helmet almost, like a crown, and then there is the actual 5 Dhyani Buddhas on it. Or if we see like in the image of Aryatara and others, they wear like a sort of tiara, no? Like a jewel, and it has 5 jewels or 5 flowers, okay? The meaning of this is that we can visualize in different ways, but we receive like this crown, which is symbolizing the wisdom of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. That's why it has 5 jewels or 5 flowers on it, symbolizing the wisdom of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. So as we receive the crown, we can imagine that we touch the crown in our hand, or the crown is placed on our head. And as we receive the crown, we experience this sensation of great bliss. And then again, the empowering deities pour nectar that fill our whole body with nectar. And as we experience this great bliss that goes down through our body, fills every part of our body, within the state of great bliss, we realize the lack of inherent existence, that every phenomena is interdependent, and because it's interdependent, cannot exist out of its own characteristics, okay? So, we focus that everything is relative, that nothing exists in an absolute manner. We focus based on our own understanding of emptiness. We try that within the state of bliss to perceive that everything lacks inherent existence. Then, once we do that, this is the moment in which we are still doing this part of the mudra. And then we focus completely on Buddha Ratna Sambhava at our own navel chakra. Okay? There is also the possibility to visualize ourselves appearing as Buddha Ratna Sambhava, but this time we are just explaining, focusing on the 5 chakras. So we focus on Buddha Ratna Sambhava appearing, that is in our navel chakra. And then we concentrate on all the qualities that Buddha Ratnasambhava represents. Okay, and so we focus on full generosity, humility, we focus on the wisdom of equanimity, on the pure aggregate of sensation, on the power of increasing, and so on. We focus on all the qualities of Buddha Ratnasambhava, and through the development of these qualities and within this state of great bliss, all the negativities are then purified. So again, we stop identifying ourselves with miserliness, with arrogance, okay, mainly these two, miserliness and arrogance. And then with that, all other sicknesses connected to the navel chakra again are completely pacified. Okay. Then we can go through and we can go and read which are the different sicknesses and so on. So, in this moment, as we purify, we can visualize all the negativities and the sicknesses being eliminated in the form of dark yellow horses, smoke and dirt. The reason why the horse is here, one of the explanations, is that the horse is an animal with many, many qualities, but one of the characteristics of the horse is that the horses are very proud. So basically, for example, even when there are competitions with horses, sometimes when the horse makes a mistake, the way how to punish the horse is to make the horse pass in front of everyone with the head down. This seems to be the thing that the horse really doesn't like. So there is an attitude of some sort of sense of superiority and pride. Okay? So, in this way, the horse is symbolizing, in this context, horse is symbolizing arrogance, pride in the sense of arrogance, and also miserliness. Okay? One thing which we need to be careful is that there is a difference between good self-esteem and arrogance. It's two different things. To develop a good self-esteem is very important. Okay? Which sometimes we may call it pride, which is to have trust in one's own capacity. To have trust in one's own self. That's very important. At no point we're saying that we should not have that. Okay? So in this level, this type of so-called pride, it's actually very important, which is the moment that I trust my qualities, I trust myself, I can make it. The other thing is to compare myself with others and feel superior to them. This is what we should avoid. Okay? So in this moment, as we develop humility, okay, but humility is also very high self-esteem. Because humility is not to feel inferior to others. Humility has very strongly the characteristic of being stable with oneself, of trusting oneself, of not depending on the judgment of others. So when we do not depend on the judgment of others, we don't feel superior to others and we don't feel inferior to others. Okay? So on this moment, we focus on the qualities of Ratnasambhava, and one of these qualities is humility, which is also high self-esteem, in which there is this strong and deep trust in oneself, and basically there is no more need to compare oneself with others. We do not judge anymore our own self by comparing ourselves with others. Okay? And then all this arrogance and miserliness and all of this is completely eliminated in the form of dark horses, smoke and dirt. Again, we don't leave a hole, an empty thing, we just fill up with humility and generosity, and naturally there is no more space for arrogance and miserliness. And then as we eliminate all the negativities, then we inhale. And as we inhale, we receive yellow light and nectar from Buddha Ratna Sambhava in the navel chakra of Guru Buddha in front of us. And then we receive also a lot of emanations of Buddha Ratna Sambhava, green light and nectar, mantras, Om Ratna Sambhava Hum, 6-syllable Tram. We can imagine all this absorbing into us and into Buddha Ratna Sambhava at our navel chakra. Okay? And then we focus in the qualities. And as we focus in the qualities, we commit ourselves to keep the samayas or the commitments of Buddha Amarga Siddhi, of Buddha Ratna Sambhava, which are to practice generosity. So we will act with generosity. The precise vow means that we will practice the 4 generosity 4 times a day. Okay? So, Jimba Namshi Tak Tu Jin says in Tibetan, which we like, it says, I will constantly, taktu means all the time, I will constantly practice the 4 forms of generosity. Actually, to be precise, 6 times a day, not 4. Okay? 6 times a day means most of the time, basically. Okay? So I will practice the 4 times of generosity, which means I will give materially, I will give affection emotionally, which means I will give love, I will give protection, which means I will help others to avoid suffering, and I will give spiritually, helping others on their path to enlightenment, on their spiritual path. Okay? From these 4 types of generosity, the easiest one is to give materially, then is to give emotionally, then is to give protection, and then is to give the Dharma. Okay? So, we commit ourselves to practice these 4 types of generosity. And we try in our daily life to apply the best as we can at every moment of interaction that we have the 4 types of generosity again. So, we do the mudra of supreme generosity, and we focus on Buddha Ratna Sambhava at our navel chakra, and we recite the mantra Om A Ratna Sambhava Hum. Okay? In self-healing number 2, Rinpoche is also saying that as we recite the mantra 5 times, we focus first on transforming our body and mind from a gross level to a very subtle level, basically. Okay? So, in other words, we are connecting to Buddha Ratna Sambhava and identifying ourselves as Buddha Ratna Sambhava. We are connecting, identify ourselves with the qualities of Buddha Ratna Sambhava from a gross level to a subtle and very subtle level. So as we do that, once again, we can take the mala and do the mantras, or even without mala, Om Ratna Sambhava Hum, Om Ratna Sambhava Hum, Om Ratna Sambhava Hum, Om Ratna Sambhava Hum, Om Ratna Sambhava. And as we recite the mantra, one of the possible visualizations is that there is Buddha Ratna Sambhava at our navel chakra, at the heart of Buddha Ratna Sambhava is the syllable Hum, around of which is the mantra Om Ratna Sambhava Hum. Then from Ratna Sambhava at our navel chakra, endless emanations goes through the central channel to the right channel. As we exhale, they go out to every sentient being and help sentient being through the 4 acts of generosity. So first materially, then emotionally, then protection, and then the Dharma, helping sentient beings, especially that their main defilement is arrogance and miserliness. Okay? Everyone, but especially focusing on those that are mostly taken by arrogance and miserliness. Okay? Then I will not go now into the details as we just explained before, okay? Because the same process for each one of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. The emanations go, help materially, and come back and reabsorb. Then again emanate, help emotionally, and then come back and reabsorb. Then go and help to protect from sufferings and dangers, and then reabsorb. And then go and give the Dharma. Okay? And then all the sentient beings reach the state of Buddha Ratnasambhava, realize the wisdom of equanimity, realize the state of Buddha Ratnasambhava, recite the mantra Om Ratnasambhava Hum together with us, and then together with all other sentient beings, we recite together the mantra Om Ratnasambhava Hum as we rejoice. Okay. Next step, we have the water empowerment of Buddha Akshobhya at our heart chakra. Okay? So, as we go to the heart chakra, and we first say the words Lama Mikyo Dorje Kyen, so Guru Akshobhya, all-knowing one. This is how to translate it literally, as we request the blessings of Guru Akshobhya. So we focus on Guru Buddha in front of us, on Buddha Akshobhya at the heart of Guru Buddha in front of us, and then we ask his blessings and we request to receive the vase empowerment, the water empowerment. And then again, we visualize similar as before, okay, as we do the mudra of the Garuda. As we are doing the mudra, we visualize that Buddha Akshobhya in front of us grant us a vase or pours water in us, and through that we experience bliss, and then comes all the empowering deities, and as the empowering deities pour nectar into our crown, our body is filled up with nectar, and then we feel this great bliss. And we feel the bliss going through our crown and entering every part of our body is filled up with pleasure that overwhelms body and mind. Okay? And within that overwhelmed feeling of pleasure, we perceive in a non-conceptual way that everything, the bliss itself and everything else, lacks inherent existence. Okay? Then we focus our attention in Buddha Akshobhya in our heart. We identify ourselves with the qualities of Buddha Akshobhya, such as love, compassion, stability, joy, okay, patience, the mind in a pure state, the Dharmadhatu wisdom, the pure aggregate of consciousness. We focus on the qualities of Buddha Akshobhya. And as we focus on that qualities, all the negativities connected to the heart chakra are completely eliminated within a state of great bliss in the form of dark blue snakes, smoke and dirt. Okay? The snake represents anger mainly. It is said that the snake, one thing is that the snake represents poison. Okay? And the poisonous snake, the poison is something that it's very small, but that can create deep harm, like anger. One moment of anger, tsak. No, it can destroy so much. We can build up a lot of positive energy and friendship and so many things, and with one moment of anger, we can destroy so much. You know, Rinpoche often was reminding us, one violent word is worse than guns. Can be worse than guns. So, anger is represented as a poisonous snake. And it's said that when someone kills a snake, and you look in the eyes of the snake as you kill the snake would get such an anger towards you that will remember you for 9 lives or 7 lives to go, something like that. Okay? I don't know much about snakes, sincerely. Actually, the time that I saw one snake in the eyes was quite strong experience. was the only time I remembered that. Sorry, I just came to my mind. I was, before going to Borobudur in Indonesia, I was walking in this forest on a small island in the night with a flashlight, and then suddenly I found myself in front of this big python, which the head of the snake was bigger than my hand, basically, and the snake was up, and as I was going through a mountain, was at the height of my own head, and the snake was looking in my eyes directly with a little tongue out. It was yellow and blue, big like this, no? I remained with that image for many days, and then I just turned around and I started running, And then it was like, okay, don't stay here, no? So the snake was all curled and the part coming up like this, no? It was quite a strong image. Then the next day I talked with the people living around there. They said, yes, there are 2 snakes in the whole island. Then one guy, I'm trying to see the snake since 1 year. I can never see the snake. But okay, I prefer not to. Anyhow, it says that the sight of the snake is something quite powerful. And if you kill a snake as you look the snake in the eyes, it creates a sort of connection that for 7 or 8 lives or 9 lives, whatever, the snake will still have anger towards you. Who knows? There is one thing called karmic anger, aversion, karmic aversion. Some people that we see the person and we don't know why we have aversion, Maybe we were a snake and we were killed by the person at some point. But anyhow, it doesn't matter. We can do all sorts of thinking. This is just like playing around. The actual fact is that we do have anger. We do have aversion. We do have nervousness. We do have aggressivity. We do have inner instability. We do have sadness, depression, impatience, and all these other characteristics connected to the heart chakra. And as we connect with Buddha-Kshobhya in our heart and all these qualities of love and compassion and patience and inner stability and everything, we focus on that. And it's like if the light emanates and the darkness cannot be there anymore, and then all these negativities are somehow pushed out. Okay? And then we take them in the form of dark snakes, smoke and dirt, and we eliminate all of them. We can focus on each one of them one by one, or we can focus on all of them at once. And once again, we are not eliminating anger in general. We are eliminating our own anger. Okay? So we focus on our own defilements. We focus on our anger, on our aggressivity, on our own sadness and depression and our own characteristics. And then we allow ourselves to disconnect from it. I am not. And then, when it's completed, as all the sicknesses connected to the heart chakra also are eliminated, and then as we inhale, we receive all the blessings of Guru Buddha Kshobhya in the form of blue, light and nectar, Buddha's Akshobhyas, syllables, hums, mantras, symbols, vajras, like a rain of wisdom beings coming towards us that revitalize our qualities in our heart chakra. Buddha Kshobhya becomes like bright with light, and we focus in Buddha Kshobhya at our own heart, and then we commit to keep the samayas of Buddha Akshobhya, which is to keep a vajra, to keep a bell, and to keep the mudra, and to keep a pure relation with the Guru. Okay? So we have the vajra, the bell, the mudra, and then keeping a pure relation with the Guru. Okay? The vajra is just a symbol of representation, even though it is said that once we follow the Vajrayana practice, we should always keep a vajra and a bell with us. It's like when you see the image of Atisha, if you see the image of Atisha clearly, you will always see Atisha with one stupa and one side, okay? And on the other side, on the left side, there is a sort of bag, which in this painting is represented green, red, and blue, okay? This bag that is there, it's where are all the tantric ornaments. So Atisha was a high tantric practitioner, but he was not showing it off to the world, okay? So he has the commitment never to be separated from the Vajra, the bell, and all the other implements, which each one with its own meaning. So he always took it with him inside this sort of bag. Everything was always there, okay? So often one thing that we can do is that when we have the mala that we take most of the time with us, in the mala we have these counters that can be placed. And then the counter of the mala, one has a little bell and the other one has a little vajra, a little dorje. The reason of this is not because they look cute. The reason of this is for us never to forget about vajra and bell, which means method, great bliss, love, compassion, the male energy, and the bell, wisdom, correct view of reality, lack of inherent existence, interdependence, female energy. Okay? And then the mudra is the union of great bliss and emptiness. It's never to forget to always bring together method and wisdom, great love and compassion and correct view of reality, wisdom. They need to balance male and female energy. Okay? So we have male energy, female energy, great bliss, emptiness, method, wisdom, and they always need to be together. They should never be separated. Okay? So this is the commitment of Buddha Akshobhya, of keeping the Vajra, of keeping the bell, of keeping the mudra, and of keeping always a pure relation with our Guru. The pure relation with the Guru, it's basically, making it simple, is always to keep our gratitude, our faith, our respect pure, our trust pure. It's not a matter of how we speak and how we act. There are different ways regarding that. Also, if we go to read the 50 verses of Guru devotion and so on, and it is said that especially when we go to practice Vajrayana Buddhism, this is one of the texts that we must study. But it's a little bit like, normally it's taught like as a more advanced text, because the 50 verses on Guru devotion, if we don't have a good stability on our practice, we may not understand it in the correct way. So, like in Tashi Lumpa Monastery in Tibet, first the monks, they go through the whole study on the sutra. And then when they are about to start studying Vajrayana Tantra, the first thing they do is that they study the 50 verses on Guru devotion before receiving empowerments and so on. Because one of the main vows of the Vajrayana is to keep a pure relation with the Guru. And the 50 verses on Guru devotion is teaching us how to do that. Okay? So, but the essence of it is to keep our trust, our faith, our gratitude, our respect pure. Okay? Our love, our friendship, to keep it pure in our heart. That's the essence of it. Okay? So, this is basically the meaning. When we talk about the commitments of Akshobhya, sometimes it is also described as keeping the Vajra, keeping the bell, and keeping the mudra. The mudra is also symbolized by the union with the consort. No? So, for example, here in the sadhana of self-healing, it is saying, and then remembering the union with the wisdom consort. The meaning of the union is actually the union of male and female energy. It's the union of great bliss and emptiness. It's not the physical union itself. That's a symbol to to show us the union and the perfect balance and union of male and female energy, of method and wisdom, of great bliss and emptiness. Okay? So, what is the commitment that we keep? That we will always remember in every action we do to do it with love, with compassion, with joy, with bliss. And that we will do everything at the same time that we do it with love and compassion and joy and bliss. We will also do with the full awareness of interdependence and the lack of inherent existence. Okay? On another level, the union of these two also symbolize the union and the correct balance between understanding and feeling, between rational and emotional, which these two need to be put into the same level and become one. Because one of the important aspects on our path is that we should not have inner conflicts. And if we think one thing and feel another, we have conflicts. Okay? So it also symbolizes creating this inner balance on which there is the perfect harmony between feeling and thinking, between taking care and acting against if it's necessary. It's like the perfect balance between these two. Okay? So, one time I was talking to a doctor and was a psychiatrist. And I was talking about what was the meaning of a person that had the blood test of the hormones have very high level of both male and female hormones, testosterone and progesterone, and both of them very high. And then the doctor gave a description which for me it was very much like the description of what is like a bodhisattva somehow. Because what's saying someone that has a very high level of these two hormones would be a person that has full courage, no fear, full strength and determination, with a lot of love and caring and empathy. So this is when we talk about also developing the balance between these two energies. Okay? And we need to put our energy in that direction as one of the commitments of Buddha Akshobhya. Okay? So, as we receive all the blessings of Buddha Akshobhya, and we do the mudra of Akshobhya, of touching the ground, and we visualize Buddha Akshobhya in our heart, we focus in all these qualities connected to Buddha Akshobhya. We identify ourselves with it. This is something that it's very important, this aspect of identifying ourselves with it. It's not just a matter of imagining, visualizing. More than to visualize, we need to identify. Because if we do not identify ourselves with the qualities of Buddha Akshobhya, and we imagine ourselves as Akshobhya, we visualize it, it's like sort of carnival. We are just focused on the external aspect, and we do not focus on being Akshobhya. Okay? So we need to identify ourselves with Akshobhya, with all the qualities that Akshobhya represents. Then, once again, we recite the mantra at least 5 times, 1 or 5 times, and we identify ourselves with Akshobhya. And then, once again, we can do the mantra, as we can take the mala, and we go Om Akshobhya Hum. And then from our heart, emanations of Buddha Akshobhya go down through the central channel, enter the right channel, go out through our right nostril as we exhale, go to all sentient beings, perform the different 4 actions of generosity, and then come back and reabsorb through the left nostril and go inside and reabsorb into our heart. When we do this type of visualization, in the beginning it's better to do in an alternate way. So first we exhale and we imagine the Buddha's going. Then we focus, we we give some time for it. Then as we inhale, we focus all the emanations coming back. When we get more familiarity with it, we can actually do both at the same time. It's like a constant flow. As they are going out, in the beginning they go out, and then when they finish their job, they start coming back in, and then others are already going out, and we have this constant flow. Okay, this it takes a little bit more creativity and takes a little bit more of more concentration. Okay, so in the beginning we don't need to do in this way. If you get more familiarized with it, you can imagine this flow at the same time. Okay. Then again, eliminates all the negativities of sentient beings by giving materially, emotionally, protection, giving the Dharma. We focus mainly on sentient beings, mainly afflicted by anger, by hatred, by aversion, and so on. Okay? And then all of them reach the state of Buddha Kshobhya, and they recite together with us the mantra as we rejoice. Okay? If we learn how to do well one of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas meditation, all the rest are very similar. We just need to change the colors, the symbols, the mantra, and the qualities. Okay? But the process is always the same. Okay? But once again, I like just to repeat, sorry if I put so much, I repeat so many times, but we need to focus more than only the visualization and the images. We need to focus on what Akshobhya is. We need to focus on the qualities that Akshobhya represent fully developed. This is also something very important. Okay? Then after that, we go to the throat chakra. And in the throat chakra, we go through the empowerment of Buddha Amitabha, which is called the Vajra empowerment of Buddha Amitabha, or the Dorje empowerment. Dorje and Vajra is the same meaning. Vajra is in Sanskrit, Dorje is in Tibetan. Okay? And if we would make a literal translation from Dorje, one of the translations of Vajra or Dorje is diamond. Okay? So, like there is one tradition of Buddhism that was one lineage developed in the Western world, which is the Diamond Way. Diamond Way, it's a literal translation of Vajrayana. Actually, not way, but vehicle, to be more precise. Yana means vehicle, Vajra means diamond. So the Diamond Way, the diamond vehicle, okay? But normally we keep the word Dorje or the word Vajra, because if we say diamond, we connect into something else normally. Okay? But literally it can be translated as diamond. Diamond meant also as something that is indestructible and indivisible. This is the meaning of diamond. From all the minerals, diamond is supposed to be the strongest one. Okay, this is why one of the reasons. And then it's also something very precious and so on. So, throat chakra, Lama Che Dorje Kin, which means Guru Amitabha, all-knowing one. We do the mudra. We focus on Guru Buddha in front of us, Buddha Amitabha at the throat chakra of Guru Buddha. Around us are all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Dakas, Dakinis, protectors, the Gurus of the lineage. Everyone is around us as witnesses. In the sky above us are all the empowering deities. Then Buddha Amitabha grants us a Dorje as we receive the Vajra, the Dorje, no? Like this, as we receive the Vajra, we experience this sensation of great bliss. Okay? And for example, when we are doing other practices of self-initiation, like Yamantaka or Vajra Yogini and so on, in this moment of the practice, normally during most of the sadhana, we always have the Vajra and the bell in our hand. In this moment of the practice, you put the Dorje out. And then there is a moment in which you hold the Vajra in your hand, symbolizing the moment in which Amitabha is holding the Vajra to give you. Then when you receive the bell, the Vajra, that's when you give to the other hand. And then you imagine that you have received the Vajra from Buddha Amitabha. Okay? So as we receive the Vajra from Buddha Amitabha, and nectar is poured by the empowering deities above us, and as it fills our whole body with nectar, we experience this new sensation of great bliss, and through this sensation of great bliss, we perceive, we realize in a non-conceptual way the lack of inherent existence. Then, after meditating briefly on that, we focus on Buddha Amitabha at our throat, and again, it's like Buddha Amitabha always has representing all our qualities fully developed, so there is no more space for insatisfaction, there is no more space for lack of concentration, distraction, there is no more space for violent speech, no more space for wrong discernment. So we purify all the negativities related to our throat chakra in the form of dark red hands, smoke, and dirt. Okay? The hen in this case represents attachment. Okay? When we look like a chicken, it's like always eating all the time. And it's like, when we look, it's all the time, never stop. No? If you have the image of a chicken, I don't know how many of you ever saw free chicken running around. I hope everyone. Okay, it's a healthy scene. Somehow, I don't know if, but nowadays I don't know if everyone saw chickens running around. Okay? So if you see a hen or a chicken like running around, what is the chicken always doing? Speaking all the time. Okay? It's pecking all the time. So it's like our attachment that is never enough. We are always looking for something more. It doesn't matter how much we get, we always want more, we always want more, we always want more. And we are somehow blind of it, okay? And hens, I'm supposed not, from what I understood, are not the most intelligent animals also. So, in one way, it's like blinded by one's own attachment, always wanting more and more. Sure, every animal also have many beautiful qualities which they also represent, okay? It's not only negative, okay? So in this case, the chicken or the hen represents, in Tibetan the word is bird, okay, cha. But it represents unlimited attachment. It can be also like a rooster, but it representing unlimited attachment and desire. So we eliminate all the negativities from our throat chakra. Especially we focus on eliminating our unlimited attachment, unlimited desire, insatisfaction, as a consequence our lack of concentration, because the lack of concentration comes from unlimited attachment and desire. Okay? Our distracted mind, violent speech, our inability to discern, all of this is completely purified. And then, as we inhale, we receive all the blessings of Supreme Healer Guru Buddha Amitabha in the form of red light and nectar, many Buddhas Amitabha's emanations, 6-syllable A, mantras Oma Moga Siddhi Hum, red lotuses, all of this absorb into us as a rain of wisdom and revitalize our qualities, okay? And then as we do the mudra of concentration of Buddha Amitabha, and we recite the mantra Om A Amitabha Hum. As I already said before, we can do this, each one of the 5 empowerments by visualizing ourselves as the Dhyani Buddha, or by just focusing in the chakras. Right now we are doing it focusing in the chakras, okay? So in this moment we focus on Buddha Amitabha at our throat chakra, and we focus especially in the qualities that Amitabha represent. So we focus on having our own aggregate of discernment completely pure, on having developed our wisdom of discernment to the maximum potential, of having perfect concentration and samadhi, having a pure speech, which is a pure capacity of communication to others, deep and profound satisfaction, all of this. And as we focus on these qualities, we have here also, we commit ourselves to keep the samayas, okay? And the samayas of Amitabha, we have here basically is the samayas of keeping the teachings of Sutra and Tantra, okay? So to keep the teachings of Sutra and Tantra, it is done basically by two forms, by two ways. One is to learn and to understand the teachings of Sutra and the teachings of Tantra. And the other form is to put them into practice. So we keep alive the lineage, we keep alive the teachings, we protect the teachings, we keep the teachings by learning, knowing, reflecting, comprehending, and then meditating and realizing. So in this moment we make the commitment that we will learn and practice the teachings of Buddha, both of Sutra and the 4 classes of Tantra. Okay? And the teachings of Tantra. So, as we recite the mantra, Om A Amitabha Hum, for the first time or the first 5 times, we first focus on Buddha Amitabha at our throat and on the qualities. Then we can recite the mantra, as we do, like we just take Kamala, and then we can start reciting the mantra more time. And then again, emanations of Buddha Amitabha go from our throat chakra. One of the ways of visualizing is that they go through the central channel down, enter into the right channel, exit to the right nostril, go to all sentient beings, especially those afflicted by unlimited attachment, unlimited desire. Then, as they go through every sentient being, they perform the 4 types of generosities, helping for interacting with sentient beings and helping first materially, emotionally, with protection, and then with the Dharma. All sentient beings reach a state of Buddha Amitabha, recite with us the mantra Om Amitabha Hum, and then the emanations reabsorb completely through our left nostril, inside, again, Buddha Amitabha at our own throat chakra. Okay? Yeah. Normally, in order to get to the right channel, they pass through the central channel.
So some would have to go down.
Yes. Yes.
For example, a mother city, is that enough space, or does he have to go to
Space is relative, definitely. No, don't. Just imagine that the emanations go. If you look inside the central channel as you meditate, it's like infinite space. Imagine that if you look this Gompa, it's even small compared to the central channel. Okay. Buddha Amitabha is at the throat chakra. The exit is at the navel chakra. Okay? So how can the Buddha Amitabha go through the right channel if not going down? Okay? And there is nothing wrong by going down. Okay? It is just so relative. So it's just the reason why we visualize this is because we connect the visualization with the breath, with our own energy or prana. This is why we do this visualization of the central channel. As we exhale, goes out, and as we inhale, goes in. One thing which I have never done myself, but I have heard that it's said that like great yogis are able to do, is able to inhale and exhale at the same time. Basically, it will be exhale from one nostril, inhale from the other. I don't know technically how that's possible, but this is what I heard once. So anyhow, we visualize the going out from one nostril, coming in from the other, and we try to combine it with our own breath. Okay? The reason of the visualization is to train the winds and the energy flowing inside our central channel, through our left and right channel also, So there are different meanings also. And then one of the reasons why the emanations go to every sentient beings and then reabsorb back into us, it's also the meaning that, one, we are simulating the actions of a Buddha. And the actions of a Buddha, the Buddha emanate and then reabsorb. Not because the Buddha takes away, because it's his own emanation. It's like us. We are born and then we die. Okay? And then second, it's also like a positive interdependence for us to train ourselves for all the winds to absorb into the central channel. That's why once again, whenever we emanate, we reabsorb. Okay? And then after all the Buddha's Amitabha have reabsorbed back into our throat chakra in Buddha Amitabha, we focus on Buddha Amitabha in our throat, we focus on the other Buddhas around, all the other sentient beings as Buddha Amitabha, reciting the mantra Om Amitabha Hum, and we rejoice. Okay? Then the next is Buddha Vairochana at our crown chakra, where we receive the name empowerment of Buddha Vairochana. And so at our crown chakra we say Lama Nangze Dorje Kyen. So Guru Vairochana, all knowing one. And then as we do the mudra of the Garuda, we visualize Buddha Vairochana at the crown chakra of Guru Buddha in front of us. And then Buddha Vairochana gives us the name. The name empowerment is being done as Buddha Vairochana plays the bell. No, as we maybe some of you saw, Rinpoche would do it sometimes, and in some empowerments, the bell and the dorje are held together, and then it's played at the height of the crown of the head, okay? And it says, your name is Akshobhya, your name is Ratnasambhava, your name is Amitabha, your name is Amoghasiddhi, your name is Vairochana. It's basically telling us which our name according to one of the 5 families of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Okay? The name of the 5 families, basically, it's symbolizing our own potential of enlightenment. And it is said that anyone reaching enlightenment would reach enlightenment within the family of one of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. And basically, if our family is Ratnasambhava, the meaning of that mainly is that from all our defilements, our pride and miserliness is the strongest. Or our family is Akshobhya, from our defilements, hatred is the strongest. And like this we can go on with every Dhyani Buddha. But in this moment, we just imagine Buddha Vairochana and Guru Buddha in front of us, and Buddha Vairochana telling us our name. So imagine Buddha Vairochana saying, your name is Vairochana, your name is Amitabha, your name is Akshobhya, your name is Ratnasambhava, your name is Amoghasiddhi. And as we listen to the name, by listening to the name and identifying ourselves, we experience a new sensation of great bliss. And then nectar is poured by the empowering deities that fills up our whole body with nectar. And within that state of great bliss, we realize non-conceptually the ultimate nature of reality of emptiness. Then, as we focus on that, we focus on the qualities of Buddha Vairochana, which is symbolizing mainly wisdom, which is symbolizing the pure aggregate of form, and the mirror-like wisdom. And within this, we purify all the negativities related to the crown chakra in the form of dark black peaks, smoke, and dirt. Okay? In some texts in the beginning, there was a small mistake that it was written white, dirty peaks. But to be the correct is black peaks. Okay? So, in this case, the pig, which is a wonderful animal, one of very intelligent one actually, symbolizes ignorance. The reason why the pig symbolizes ignorance is because the pig eats almost everything that you give to it. You know, normally one of the symbols that the pig is just eating everything. Similar to that, we eat every appearance as being real. Anything that appears to us, we take it as real. So we are eating appearance. We are eating everything that appears to us somehow. Just like a pig that is eating everything that appears to us, we just take it for granted. We just take it as real. Okay? So this is in a way in which the pig symbolizes ignorance. Then, we eliminate our ignorance and we can focus on the grasping at inherent existence, we can focus on our own selfishness, we can focus on the grasping at permanence of phenomena, we can focus on different levels of our own ignorance, and then again we disconnect from that ignorance, and as we inhale, we identify ourselves with our qualities, and as always we purify also the sicknesses, okay? Then we revitalize our chakra, and we revitalize our qualities as white light and nectar absorbs into us, and many emanations of Buddha Vairochana, white Dharma wheels, 6 syllables Om, mantras Om Amoga Siddhi Hum, it all absorbs into us, revitalizing our qualities, and we focus on the attention in Buddha Vairochana at our crown, as we do the mudra of Buddha Vairochana. We focus and as we identify ourselves with the qualities. So I am the pure aggregate of form, I am the perfect, the resultant mirror-like wisdom, I have full wisdom, I can perceive in a non-dual way all phenomenon, and so we identify ourselves within the qualities of Buddha Vairochana. And within that state, we recite the mantra Om A Vairochana Hum. And then after that, we can also, as before, just recite the mantra Om A Vairochana Hum, Om A Vairochana Hum, Om A Vairochana Hum, Om A Vairochana Hum. As we recite the mantra, singing or reciting, we visualize many emanations of Buddha Vairochana going through our central channel, through the right channel, going outside as we exhale to all sentient beings, especially those afflicted by ignorance, performing the 4 types of generosity, eliminating the suffering of sentient beings through that process, which means guiding every sentient being out of the state of suffering, reaching a state of peace, and then they reach the state of Buddha Vairochana, recite with us Om A Vairochana Hum, the mantra, as the old emanations reabsorb back into Buddha Vairochana at our own crown as we inhale. Okay? As we do it, we generate also the commitment of the family of Buddha Vairochana. And the commitment of the family of Buddha Vairochana is that we commit ourselves to take refuge in the Buddha, to take refuge in the Dharma, to take refuge in the Sangha, to avoid every form of negative actions, and to develop every form of positive or virtuous action, to cultivate virtuous actions, and to benefit others. Okay? So the commitments of the family of Buddha Vairochana, again, to take refuge in the Buddha, to take refuge in the Dharma, to take refuge in the Sangha, to avoid every form of negative action, to cultivate every form of positive action, and to benefit others. Okay, which are the 3 moralities. It's the morality of cultivating virtue, of abandoning non-virtue, and of benefiting others. So, as we commit to follow the samayas, we do the mantra, and then we do all the visualizations of all the emanations going and coming back and so on. And when all the sentient beings have reached the state of Buddha Vairochana and reabsorb into our crown chakra, we still recite some little bit of the mantra. And as we recite the mantra, we focus into this state of rejoicing for the state of all other sentient beings. Okay? So with this, we conclude the 5 empowerments of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Okay? And one thing that is very important, which we have not explained today with emphasis, but it's very important, is we need to focus on the 5 aggregates. We need to focus on seeing our 5 aggregates pure. But for that we need to understand what are the 5 aggregates, which in essence is the aggregate of form, is our body, and all the other 4 aggregates are our mind in all its different aspects. Okay? So it's like if we transform completely our body and mind from an impure to a pure state. And we need to identify ourselves with this pure state of body and mind. If we do this correctly, then we can do correctly the next step, which is the Vajra Master Empowerment, which will not explain now. Okay, otherwise we are too hungry, then we cannot concentrate. Okay? So today, so we'll conclude here now. And then after lunch, as we come back, we will see in the afternoon, we will continue with the Vajra Master Empowerment, and then we have the Secret Empowerment and so on. And I said a few days ago that between Saturday and Sunday, I would like to show the video of Lumpo Tata. Lumpo Tata was a very good friend of Lama Ganche Rinpoche. He's still alive. It's a very important master from the Theravada tradition in Thailand. He's also one of my master and master of many of you because he gave teachings here also. And he made one, there's a video of him talking to us, which is specially dedicated for Rinpoche also. So I think it would be very nice for everyone to watch it together. I said a few days ago that we would do this, okay? So today at 3:30, we will watch this video. And in the meantime, while you will be watching the video in the Taragompa, there is a very beautiful event, online event in Brazil, which is connected with, as an homage to Rinpoche, connected with peace culture. So I will be participating in the online event, okay? And while it will be in Portuguese, so while we are doing this event, I will be doing this from here, and in the same time we'll be showing the video of Lumpo Tata up, okay? And then the event should be finished more or less around 4:45. So it will be more or less the time that we finish the video of Lumpo Tata. There is also a beautiful message that was sent by our friend Alfredo that would be nice to read also. And then by the time after that, I think 4:45, 5 o'clock, then we come back for the teachings. Okay? So we do our dedications. Sayashi peke chukshi meto cham rirab lingshi nide gempadi sangye shinto mikte ulwargi drokun namda shingla che parasho jetsu lame kotse raptenchi namkar tinle chokchur gepadang Lo san tempe drume sasum ki drove munsel takto ne gyur chi yidam guru ratna mandra kam niryata yami Kewa kuntu yanda lama dan drame cheki pela longche ching Sada lamge yente rabzone dorje change kopang nyurtob sho nimo dele tsendele nime kuyan dele kshin nintsen takto dele pe koncho sumke chinge lo koncho sumke ngodro Concho somke trashisho. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and spring off path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness.